Hello and welcome to the first episode of Paranormal Ghost Radio, where we talk about everything paranormal. We are your hosts. I'm Jeremiah.
And I'm Gary.
And Gary and I are actually from two different teams, but we have worked together in the past, but we've come together to show our support in the para community and unity and to help give one of the best paranormal shows out there as possible. So would you like to mention about yourself and maybe a little bit about your team?
Yeah, I'm Gary DeMaranfu. I've been in the paranormal field now for like 12 years, and I work with the Fall River Paranormal Society, where we search for the truth. And me and Jerry, like you just mentioned, we have done a lot of work together in the past. We were currently on two different teams together. Jerry's got a great team, Investigators of the Unknown, and our teams, we believe in paranormal unity, and it's very important in the paranormal field. And we're all in it together, and paranormal unity is where it's at. So any teams out there, it's good to have unity, is in case we all ever need each other, we're there for each other. And Jerry?
Like I just said earlier, I'm your host, Jeremiah, and like Gary said, my team is Investigators of the Unknown, and I've been investigating and studying, researching the paranormal now for about 9 years, and I'm also currently in the study of demonology. My mentor and teacher is a very good friend of mine and a very wonderful man. His name is Pastor Ed Broderick. Like I said, he's a very good man and wonderful teacher. If you'd like to really know anything more about demonology, which I'll talk about a little bit later in the show, you could always hit Pastor Ed up on Facebook. He is on there. Just as you can hit Gary and I up on Facebook as well. Just type in Jeremiah Ouellette, IOTU, and you'll find me, or you can type in Gary D. Moranville, and you can find Gary. Now, my team and I have been in a few documented documentaries that are up on YouTube. One of them is called the PSR, the Paranormal School of Research. I also do a paranormal talk show on YouTube called Beyond, where we talk about everything paranormal and beyond. And we also did a paranormal documentary, a small one called Insight on the Paranormal, and that was filmed by Home Network Productions, which I'm actually wanted to produce this for, and Home Network Productions actually is nice enough to come and film this radio show and document it for YouTube for Gary and I, so you'll be able to see it up on YouTube later.
Also, if you want to check out my team's site, go to www.fallriverparanormal.com. That's www.fallriverparanormal.com, and check out our site. It's really interesting. We're slowly building up the site, and we've got some cool pictures from the past that other people have submitted, and we have also a blog, and we also talk about different types of paranormal activities and what is paranormal, and explains a bunch of things like that. So check it out, www.fallriverparanormal.com. And so Jerry, what would you like to talk?
Alright, well, I'd just also like to say just one more thing before we go in and talk about today's topic that we have today, is that there is a couple of documentaries from a show that Gary and I did together in the past that is up on YouTube also. It's called Hunters of the Afterlife, so if you want, check that one out too. They're all good episodes.
Yeah, matter of fact, the one that's up now, I believe it's the Lizzie Borden case, where we checked out the Lizzie Borden bed and breakfast. One of our investigations we did for that documentary. It's really, really good. The experiences we had there was incredible. Like the door opened by itself, and the different
There was
smells.
a camera that got thrown off the bed too.
Yeah, yeah.
And the cameraman was following your brother into a certain bedroom.
Yep, yep.
But
Check it out.
Getting on today's subject, where we'll talk about a little bit of different types of hauntings. Now, the first one I'd like to talk about, which is one of the more common hauntings that I would like to believe that as paranormal investigators normally run into, which is known as a residual. A residual haunting is basically, the way I like to explain it is where, say if you put like a DVD movie or a CD on the radio on loop just in one section, and it constantly repeats itself over and over again. That's basically what it is. It's repeating the same thing. Now, there's a couple of different theories behind what a residual is. Some like to believe that a residual can be something that once happened in a person's life, something that was traumatic, and it's just reliving that stage in its life. And then there's others who like to believe, such as myself and a few other people that I know that are also in the paranormal field, which is where the energy that we have is absorbed by the very materials around us, such as the walls in our house, bricks, stones, especially like limestone is known for holding that residual energy. And so basically, that's what a residual is, just, the residual energy that's basically absorbed into the very materials around us, which is how we actually got what's known as an object haunting, where something is attached to that certain object. And no matter where you move that object around to, you'll have that haunting go with that object.
Anyway, object hauntings, residual hauntings. I can't say I had many experiences with that, but I know that sometimes if one was to bring something an antique, even if you go to an antique store, you don't know what you're buying, you don't know what's attached to it. Like if you go to any kind of historical museum that has old stuff, there's bound to be something attached to it. Like I went to a historical museum here in Fall River, and every time I go in there, I don't feel right. I feel like there's something watching me. I smell death around me. It's just a bad feeling every time I go in there. And I don't know if it's because of the smell of the stuff being old, or is there something attached to that, to the furniture and stuff that's brought in there all the time. The antiques. You know what I'm saying?
Well, most times when it comes to historical societies, they normally have replicas of the furniture from back then. Although on occasion they will have the actual furniture that was used by the people who once lived in what's now the Historical Society building. But also, I'd like to now get on to talking about an intelligent haunting, which is also something that I feel is common that a lot of paranormal investigators would run into. Now, an intelligent haunting is something more of trying to get your attention, whether if it's showing itself to you, trying to talk to you, maybe even try to tug on your shirt or something. That to me is an intelligent haunting. What is your thoughts and opinion on an intelligent haunting, and have you ever experienced any intelligent hauntings yourself?
Yeah, I have actually. There's my team decided to do some cemetery investigations, which I totally frown upon. I don't, for religious, superstitious reasons, personal reasons, I don't believe anybody should be going into a cemetery investigating, but my team decided to do it anyway, to experiment, and we did. We actually went into some cemeteries in Rhode Island, and I had some bad experiences. There was one point where there was a church in the middle of the cemetery, and one of our investigators asked me to knock on a church door. I did. I didn't think nothing of it. So I said, "Hello, anybody home? Hello," and nothing happened. So we went and moved on. Picked up some EVPs, and we picked up some stuff off the ghost box, which I was called a jerk by a spirit, and a bunch of other choice of names, through the ghost box. And later on, we proceeded to walk. We walked down the road to the cemetery, and when we gathered the team to come back to the church again, bad mistake. That was the worst thing we did. Worst thing I did was go back. Cause on my way down that same road back to the church, I started feeling angry. I wasn't feeling right. I wasn't feeling myself. And then we walked. We finally get to where the church was in the cemetery, and I sat on a fence. I was tired. I don't know what happened. Next thing you know, I walked down the road again, and we're on the way out of the cemetery. And I caught on film of me on video, looking very angry, yelling, throwing things. I don't even remember. I only know what I saw on video. I'm like, holy crap, It was just bad experiences. I just had nothing but bad experiences. And there was another vampire cemetery where we went, and it was a very small cemetery, and something tugged on my shirt, and just bad experiences, one thing after another. So.
Well, me personally, I don't find that there's really anything wrong with investigating cemeteries as long as these people will remain respectful at night, just as they would during the day when it's opening and function. So you got to remember, it is the resting place, the final resting place for the person.
Yeah.
Well, for the body. And just because, as I like to joke around a lot, saying that, even though people are always dying to get in there, doesn't really mean that there's going to be anything there, but there's a possibility. I mean, cemeteries can sometimes, or have been known for having a certain type of spirit that is known as a jumper, which can also be the same as a hitchhiker, something that likes to basically leech onto you and follow you home. In some cases, it can be demonic. In other cases, it could just be something that's just very angry and upset at the fact that you're disturbing its spot, its area. Now, I'd also like to talk a little bit about what's known as a poltergeist. A poltergeist is actually the German word for noisy spirit. Polter, which is noisy, ice, which is spirit. So there you go. You put it together, poltergeist, you have noisy spirit. And basically what a poltergeist is it's actually a spirit of sorts. It's actually created by human energy, believe it or not. People somehow create this energy on their own, and these things happen. Now, a poltergeist can also at times be misled as something as demonic. So a lot of times when people call you into a certain case like that, you've got to sometimes wonder, is this poltergeist or is it demonic? Because in some cases it can have some similarities. And a poltergeist is actually more common in female adolescents than it is in male adolescents. Mainly between the ages of 8 and 18, they say. Now, poltergeists in some rare occasions can be attached to a male adolescent or even adult or a piece of property. That's where you might get like some picture frame flying off the wall, cabinet doors opening and shutting, maybe a bed shaking or something. But yet again, those can also be signs of something demonic. So, you got to be careful. And basically, what a demonic spirit is obviously an evil spirit. They were spirits that were once angels, but somewhere something happened. They turned dark, because they turned dark. God couldn't have that for his kingdom, so he cast them out. And if you actually read the book of Revelations, chapter 12, verse 6 to 12, it states that the angels that were misled were defeated by the army of angels. Saint Michael then defeated Satan. God turned him into a red dragon with 7 heads and cast him out into the earth to roam free and do as he pleases, but reminded him that he is going to pay for what he has done in the end, just as anyone else. Because somewhere along the line, Satan was actually known to be one of the most beautiful angels in heaven. He was the angel of music. He had the biggest wings because his wings would wrap around the light of God so that we wouldn't blind the other angels. And he had all these like horns and instruments that came out of him, and he made all this beautiful music. But somewhere down the line, he became greedy, and he basically wanted to be like God. And when he saw that God was going to be given authority to man to rule earth, he didn't like that, so he became rebellious. He then got some of the angels to follow him, and when that happened, they turned dark. And once when an angel turns dark, they turn dark for eternity. They can no longer go back to the light. And now it's very rare that anyone ever gets possessed. I mean, obviously we know it does happen because of the different movies.
It can jump in and out. Jump out as quick as it comes in.
But like I said, obviously we know that it does happen because a lot of the many movies out there that are based on actual cases, as well as some books that authors have written about certain cases with certain priests or maybe pastors that have gone in and done exorcisms.
What do you think they have to be in that cemetery? I can't question. I can't find an explanation for that. It happened so quick. It was like in and out. Boom.
I wouldn't really know unless I was either there to see or if I saw the footage. Then I could know.
Do you think it was just borrowed me for that brief moment? For that brief time?
Well, what people have to remember is that demonic spirits have been around for centuries. They've actually been around longer than man itself. And the study of demonology isn't just about going in, blessing a house, or casting out whatever negative there out and putting it back into its place by using the power of God. I mean, obviously, whether if you're a demonologist or you're an actual priest or pastor or any man of God, is that, it's more about, also about the study of their behavior, why they do the things they do, which we really don't know. We really don't know. All we know is that, they're trying to be rebellious, and that's basically why they do the things that they do, because they're trying to be rebellious, and they're basically trying to slap God in the face. But what they don't realize is that they've already been condemned, and they're going to still pay just as anyone else that basically follows in their footsteps. Or anyone who doesn't obviously accept God or Jesus will follow them. And so basically, like I said, demonology is all about the history of demons. It's about the study of their behavior and stuff like that. But going into a case that's demonic, which you should already know too from some of the cases we've had together in the past, which either turned out to be demonic or we saw could possibly be a demonic case, is that you never go in really as a believer. You want to be the last person to believe that there's actually something negative there.
Right.
Only because you don't want... The reason why you don't want to go in really so much as believing that it's already there is because this being, this negative spirit of sorts, is going to already know basically who you are.
Right.
What your sins are, what you've done. It's also going to know about your behavior, and it can use those things against you. And if you show fear or go in as a believer, it can also use that against you.
Definitely. It's always good to pray up before you go into any situation Because you're not going to know what situation you're going to run into.
Well, I mean, especially going into a demonic case, before you do any blessing on the house,
Right.
asking for an angel of protection to come down and to cast
It's a fast and pray
all
out.
evil and negative
Yeah.
out of it, which is basically, I guess, some ways doing like a small exorcism on a property, or
Right.
even doing an exorcism itself on a person. Is that, you know, you're always taught, especially priests who go into, who are known as exorcists, who go into doing exorcisms, or even demonologists. Not all demonologists do exorcisms, but some do.
Some are ordained.
And
Some aren't.
yeah,
Yeah.
but like I said, not all demonologists do exorcisms.
Right.
Some do. But
They
either
do
way,
basically do
you've
what?
got to pray to God.
Right.
You've got to ask for forgiveness of your sins, because what people don't realize is that the Bible does state that we can sin without realizing we sin, which is why it's always good not only to thank God for what we have in life, but to also ask for forgiveness of what we've done every day.
Now, it's always good to pray up, you know, and prepare yourself for anything, because, you know, like maybe fasting the day before, or cleansing, praying.
Well, I mean, I do feel, especially with being in the study of demonology, that, you know, it is best, especially when in the field of demonology, to have a religion that you can fall back on, which
Yeah.
can also help make you stronger.
Yeah.
But it's also best, even as a paranormal investigator, to have some sort of religion that you can fall back on, pray to, some kind of God to pray to.
Yeah.
And,
a higher power.
yeah, to
whatever.
make sure that you're protected for when you go to these places. Because if you look at the history of religion, so many religions all have their own version of heaven and hell and
Definitely.
demons.
Yeah. All faiths and religions, because not all Christ followers consider themselves a religion. You consider themselves a faith.
Well, Christianity is a faith that follows a
Yeah.
religion. What Christianity is followers of Christ.
Yeah.
A religion that Christianity would follow would be like Catholic, Protestant, born again, Seventh-day
Right.
Adventist,
Right.
Baptist. Those are
Well,
religions. But what all
actually-
those religions have in common is the faith of Christianity. And what a Christian is like I said, is a follower of Christ. So anyone
Yeah.
who accepts Christ is a Christian.
Actually, born again. A lot of born agains don't consider themselves a religion. I learned this from experience. They consider themselves as a faith, not a religion. They actually, a lot of them do also believe that being a follower of Christ is not religion. It's a faith. It's something. Something more sacred than a religion. They consider
Well,
religion
follower
to
of
be
Christ-
anybody or anything.
Well, a follower of Christ
Be
is a
anything.
Christian. That's
Right. Not
Christianity
exactly
is.
a religion. I tried to tell someone that, but they didn't believe it.
Christianity is a faith, not a
Right.
religion.
Thank you very much. I'm glad you clarified that, because I tried to, tell people that someone that, but they don't want to
Well,
believe.
everyone
They-
has the ability and the rights to their own opinion.
Right, but they still need a little education there.
But we also have, there's also what's known as element spirits. Element spirit are spirits of nature, which would consist of like pixies, fairies, goblins, ghouls, brownies, trolls, leprechauns, etc. The list goes on. And they're more, like I said, spirits of nature. Actually, if you go to my team's website, www.investigatorsofttheunknown.com, we actually have up there on the different types of hauntings, known as, different types of hauntings, and then different types of hauntings on page 2, and it pretty much describes everything what we've already been talking about here on this show today. Right, but demonic spirit is a spirit of anger, greed, possession, depression, and basically what the first signs are of demonic possession is obsession. That's where someone becomes compulsively obsessed about something. The second sign is where they become very oppressed, which is depression. They close themselves in, They shut themselves off from the rest of the world. They don't really want to be seen or bothered with anyone. Then the third sign is infestation. That's where the person has started to hear voices and stuff in their head. And then the fourth sign is possession, which is where people like to think that, this negative spirit or uh, this being of negativity has full possession out of the body. But as what most demonologists or exorcists like to believe is that, you walk in there with the power of God, you ask it to leave, it's going to fear God and it's going to leave. It's going to put up a fight, but it's going to know that it's not going to win.
Yeah, but the person that goes through all this could also become extremely agitated as well. And agitation is also a big part of it as well. And
Well, yeah,
they lose interest in things they used to find joy into.
Well, yeah, pretty much, anyone who is going through a demonic possession of sorts, their mood and stuff like that's going to change. They're going to start acting the way that they normally wouldn't act, and they probably won't really recognize it, but other people around them
It's
will.
like a transformation of a whole entire personality change, a whole transformation in that. And anyway, you want to talk about our teens?
Yeah, if you like, you can talk about yours first, and I'll...
Yeah, the Fall River Paranormal Society, we grouped up this year in 2013. We're a team of five to six people. We try to find answers and debunk pretty much at every investigation we do. What we do is we try to find the truth into every investigation. In most, sometimes we don't find anything. Sometimes we find that it could be just a creak in the floorboard, or something wrong with the pipe. Sometimes there's an explanation, and those we can't explain, we can't debunk. We would have to consider paranormal, which we all know what that means. That means unexplained. Anything unexplained is paranormal. And the Fall River Paranormal Society is based in Fall River, Massachusetts, right along, as well as Investigators of the Unknown is also a Fall River Paranormal group. If you'd like to call us for any of your paranormal needs or any needs at all, you feel it's your residency, or you're just curious, you want to see what's going on, our phone number is 774-955-0034. Again, it's 774-955-0034. One of our case managers will get back to you, and we will speak to you and take down your information. Again, our website is www.fallriverparanormal.com. That's www.fallriverparanormal.com. We're the Fall River Paranormal Society, and we work with any groups out there who would like our assistance into any investigations, as well as anyone out there who has any questions or anything else, or would like your place of business or home to be investigated. Give us a call. We got our lines open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, including holidays and weekends. So you just leave us a message, and we're more than glad to take your call. We've done numerous investigations so far. The short time the group's been together. We've done a lot of historical sites in Rhode Island, in Newport, Rhode Island, and we did some sites in Fall River. We do have a lot of experience. We're still learning, and it's a learning experience. I feel I'm learning something different all the time. I'm always learning. I'm always researching, and one thing about this field, nobody knows everything. Nobody ever will know everything, but we do learn a lot, and it's ongoing education. It's scientific, and as well as, we keep our faith as well in God, because if you don't have God in your life and you're not working with God on any of your investigations, then you're asking for trouble, because you gotta, the most important thing, I feel that any investigator, researcher should do before they go into any situation, because is prayer. Because you don't know what you're going to get into. You don't know what situation you're going to get into beforehand on the investigation. Another thing we do is we do a lot of research. We research the history of the properties we're about to go into. We like to do a background check. We like to talk to the witnesses or anyone in between that's involved in the investigation, to see where they're at, see how their health is, the mindset. We like to uncover everything, uncover any stones. No stones are left unturned before the investigation, during the investigation, or after. We do ask, though, that they give us at least an hour or so to set up. We would set up. Our usual time would be to start investigation between 9 at night and to a reasonable time around 2 or 3 in the morning. But it depends on how much area we need to cover and how long it will take us to investigate. It could be an all-night investigation. It could be a few hours. It's like that with pretty much any team. And again, with the Fall River Paranormal Society.
Alright, and before we actually end tonight's episode, I would just like to thank everyone out there that listened to today's episode. And today we try to cover as many of the different types of hauntings that are out there. Again, if you'd like to know more about those different types of hauntings, please visit my team's website at www.investigatorsofttheunknown.com. And just click on different types of hauntings and different types of hauntings page 2, and that right there will cover everything from residual right down to demonic and poltergeist to hitchhike and jumpers, as we were talking about before earlier. And it'll also give you a little bit of history on the element spirits, which again are spirits of the elements outdoors. Spirits that you'd find like out in the woods and all that. But also too, if you have any questions that you'd like to ask either team, just again go to either Gary's team's website and or you can go to my team's again, which is investigatorsofttheunknown.com, or
you could go to the www.fallriverparanormal.com. www.fallriverparanormal.com. Check out our site.
And also too, please, if you like, just add us on Facebook. Both our teams, we're both up on Facebook. Just look up the Fall River Paranormal Society or Investigators of the Unknown. Both Gary's group and mine is on Facebook, and just spread the word about para community and para unity, because we're all in this for the same reason, which is searching for the truth, searching for answers out there, so we can be able to not only educate ourselves but help educate those who call us about their problems and give them a better understanding of what's going on. But again, if you'd have maybe any certain topic that you'd like for either Gary or I to talk about, or maybe a certain question that you'd like to direct to just one of us that you'd like for us to answer maybe next time on this show, we will. If you want us to keep your name secret, we can do that too. We can just say, it's from someone unknown, or if you give us permission to mention your name, we'll do that too. And you can just go to Paranormal Ghost Radio on Facebook and just inbox us on there. And again, just thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time on our next episode. And again, my name is Jeremiah, and this is...
And I'm Gary, and remember, as our slogan at Florida Paranormal Society is, we search for the truth. Good night, everybody.
And for all those paranormal hunters out there, Gary and I would just like to say, happy ghost hunting.
You bet.